For the first time in over 6 months, my shoulder is finally starting to feel better. On week 16 post-shoulder surgery, I felt less stiff and achy. Don't get me wrong, I still get stiff, a little achy, and I've got a long way to go on my shoulder strength, but there's been a significant change over the past 2 weeks. My strength started to increase, and I've been able to do many common tasks more easily, like carrying a light load with both hands, pushing myself off a chair with some assistance from my arms, confidently driving with both arms, and filling up my 32-ounce hydro flask with my involved arm. Look, Ma, 2 hands. There are many other examples, but that gives you an idea. The improvements literally came out of the blue, like someone just turned on a light switch. So how did I make such a big change? If you think about it, we start our shoulder surgery recovery by resting for 12 weeks with no stress and very little movement. This is by design, to allow the repairs to heal enough so we can start putting stress on them later. During the first 12 weeks, we're basically working on getting some range of motion back in that shoulder. But because our shoulders aren't ready for strengthening, there's not a dramatic change in our everyday lives. I've served my 12-week sentence, and now in the past 4 weeks, I've been allowed to incrementally work on strengthening. Remember, we have to break ourselves down to get stronger, and if you've been following the channel, you know I really broke myself down on week 13. I've had a lot of ups and downs during that period. I've used NSAIDs a few times, and Dr. Dan has done a lot of work to help me recover. I stuck with it, even on the days my shoulder didn't feel like doing therapy. The super cool thing is I'm finally starting to see the benefits of all that work. My shoulder got stronger, and that's what made it finally start feeling better. It didn't come without a lot of patience, work, and consistency. Like this week, I substantially increased my volume and loads. As usual, I started with mini sessions to warm up. You can find detailed information on mini sessions in previous videos like week 13, which I'll link in the card above and the description below. After I was warmed up, I started with 3 sets of 15 reps on rows as a couplet with internal rotation, resting 60 seconds between sets. I started the week with 7-pound bands, and I worked my way up to 10-pound bands. Next were Witties. I did 3 sets of 15 reps on each W, I, T, and Y. I rested 20 seconds between each set for a total of 180 reps. I started the week by using 1-pound dumbbells and ended the week with 2.5-pound dumbbells on all 4 movements. It's important to keep the shoulders packed on all of the movements listed in this video. I did 3 sets of 15 reps on lateral raises with a 1-pound dumbbell to start and worked up to 2.5-pound dumbbells. The hardest movement for me has been overhead presses with external rotation. So of course, Dr. Dan wanted to increase the difficulty and have me do the same movement with a red band attached from a low anchor point. I started with 3 sets of 10 and worked up through the week to 3 sets of 15 reps. Ball against wall is done for 3 sets of 45-second segments. During that 45 seconds, I pressure the ball against a wall and rotate my arm. Paint the fence, paint the house, wax on, and wax off. Yep, straight for Mr. Miyagi himself. External rotation has always been a tougher one for me as well, but I was able to do 3 sets of 15 reps with the blue band, making sure to keep my thumb pointed into the direction I was pulling. I use a towel under my arm to more easily keep those shoulders packed on this movement. This week, we added 3 sets of 15 reps on standing horizontal presses with scaption. The shoulders are packed through the pressing movement and then extended after the pressing movement. Simply reverse the order, coming back by packing the shoulders again before the eccentric part of the movement. Rinse and repeat. This one takes a little practice to do correctly. I did 3 sets of 45-second segments on all fours, increasing pressure to the front and sides. Dr. Dan came up with a great introduction to a much tougher elevated external rotation movement. Many call these 90-90s because the upper arm is 90 degrees horizontal to the floor and the forearm is 90 degrees perpendicular to the floor. while rotating at the shoulder. This is often done standing, but I love this modification Dr. Dan made, which only focuses on the eccentric portion of the movement to start. Later in the week, I worked up to doing the same movement concentrically and eccentrically for 3 sets of 15 reps. I made a significant jump on shoulder depressions by using a box and a Rogue Matador bar on a rack. I positioned the bar and box so I could have full control of the load with my legs. This allowed me to use the exact amount of assistance I needed with my legs. I started with 3 sets of 15 using less and less leg assistance, but at the end of the week, I was doing these without any assistance and full body weight. Yeah, this surprised me too, but it didn't put much stress on my supraspinatus or bicep tendon repairs. I ended with 3 sets of 15 reps on bicep curls and tricep extensions as a couplet and no rest between. I used 5-pound dumbbells working up to 7.5 pounds by the end of the week. It's cool to see my bicep finally starting to contract a little. If you're past me in recovery, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't reached this point yet, don't worry, you will. It just takes time. Keep listening to your healthcare team's advice, work hard and be consistent with your recovery. Yeah, it's hard to do sometimes, I totally get it. But doing these things will make a big difference for your recovery. Stay positive and one day that light switch will come on for you too. If you find this information helpful or think it will help others, like and subscribe. Remember, likes and subscribes are totally free. That's all I've got for you. See you soon.